Today, we're doing a review of the Rework Toshi 5-liter sling. In this video, we're gonna talk about the pros, we're gonna talk about the cons, and if you're not quite feeling this sling, at the end of the video, I'm gonna talk about these slings, which are some alternatives that might better suit your needs. But one step at a time, let's jump into the review. Okay, let's talk about the gist of the Rework Toshi Sling 5-liter. And real fast, I do want to hit the nail on the head that this is a sponsored review, but here at Nomads Nation, sponsored reviews do not guarantee positive reviews. It just means that Rework got to skip the line and set their own publish date, because we have quite the waiting list right now. That's a lot of bags. Based in San Fran, but originally from Singapore, Rework is a new carry brand that's focused on low-key urban gear that's also highly functional. Some of its top features being the ability to compress when empty, yet expand pretty impressively when fully packed out, a quick access front pocket protected by this flap, a very spacious and well-organized front compartment with some pretty interesting pocket configurations that I'll talk about 2 sections from now, a hidden back pocket, the ability to detach the shoulder strap, stowable external lash points / compression straps, and the ability to add on a stabilizing strap, and I'll show you how this works in just a minute. The Toshi Sling currently comes in one color option, black. The size is advertised as 5 liters, which is a really nice size for a sling that can compress like this, because it looks low-key when it's not packed out, but it gives you that extra capacity when you need it. And don't worry, we're gonna pack it out a couple sections from now so you can see exactly what it fits. For dimensions, we're looking at about 12 inches long, 7 inches tall, and at the base we got a fully packed out depth of a couple inches. This is the Rework Sling when it's empty, and this is the Rework Sling when it's fully packed out and worn on the Nomads Nation team. I'm 5'8", Margaret's 5'2". For the weight, we're looking at 0.7 pounds. And for all that, the Toshi Sling runs around $89 US. And if at any point in this review you're thinking to yourself, gosh darn, that's the feature-heavy sling of my dreams, I am totally picking one up, and you're gonna make a purchase, we do ask that you do so using the first link in the description below. Reason being, that link makes sure that you get the best price, and we oftentimes have discount codes. And that link also helps to support the Nomads Nation YouTube channel and team, so we can keep making the best bag reviews on the web. Thank you very much. Okay, let's talk about the outside of the Rework Toshi 5-liter sling. Now, I always like to kick off this section by talking about the aesthetic of the bag, which I think overall Rework has done a good job of, sticking to their ethos of making it very subtle and low-key. And the biggest contributing factor to that aesthetic is the primary fabric used on the sling, which is a 420D 100% recycled nylon. 420D is very common in the bag world. It's got a decent amount of weather resistance to it, which is also helped by the fact that there's an additional PU coating, but it's also just a very smooth fabric, fine to the touch, and it's not too structured, so it helps to give the sling some nice malleability, which for me is very important on a sling. But it should be noted, this material is weather resistant, but not like extremely weather resistant. But also notice on that whole low-key aesthetic, no logo on the front or really anywhere on this sling. Nice work, Rework. Yep. Only branding is inside the sling, so if you like the idea of not being a walking billboard for a brand, the Toshi Sling has got you. Now we're gonna talk about these 1, 2, 3, 4 interior pockets in the next section, but let's start with this really interesting internal compression strap / external lash point system. Accessible by this magnetic opening, you have these 2 lash points that can connect to the back side of the sling, giving you the option to carry things externally on the bottom of your bag. And this is pretty nifty, particularly for these, like an umbrella, especially after it's rained, right? It's wet, you don't want it getting the interior of your bag all drenched. So you just go ahead and pop it onto the bottom of your bag. And the ability to tighten or loosen these lash points does give you a lot of carrying versatility. Overall, this is a pretty cool feature on a sling that I haven't seen implemented quite like this. And I think Rework kind of nailed it. And whenever you do not need the compression straps, you can just go ahead and stow them away back in this compartment. But it should be noted, you're not gonna really be able to carry anything else in this pocket. These magnets, they're not like weak. They're fine for holding the compression straps into place. I wouldn't put anything else in there. Compression straps only. Moving on to the sides, we have 1, 2 external lash points. Again, for carrying things on the outside of your bag. Great spot for a hero clip. Now these external lash points offer one other function as well, as to where you can relocate the shoulder strap to sort of customize how the sling fits in your body. And speaking of which, let's kind of talk about the overall comfort of it and how that works. The shoulder strap itself is on the thicker side. We're looking at just under 4 millimeters, which I think is great for a sling this size. Reason being, some days you might have a lot of stuff in there. You can fit like a big ass water bottle in there, a lot more weight. So the thicker strap just helps make sure it's a more comfortable wearing experience. The nylon webbing itself is pretty basic, nothing too premium. And then you detach the shoulder strap with this Woojin buckle right here. I quite like this. Like a lot of slings are utilizing magnetic hardware. It's not just something classy about like a good old fashioned chunky piece of hardware like this. Super strong. And you can see at the bottom of the shoulder strap, it connects to the sling itself with these G hooks right here. Now G hooks are a to get on and to get off, but They're very secure, I guess, on the pro side. And the good thing is when you do get it off, it means that this sling can then transform into a tech pouch. For me, it's a feature that I've never really utilized, but I know it's important to some of y'all out there. Let me know in the comments below, like, do you like it when your slings can disconnect the strap and do one of these? Not a selling point for you? Let me know in the comments below. But now that that strap is detached, you can see you have the ability to reattach it on the side here, therefore allowing you to position the sling in different ways. Okay, that should do it for this section. Let's jump into the next part where we talk about the inside of the Rework Toshi Sling 5 liter. First up, we got this little front flappy thingy, which gives you access to this front little pocket thingy. One thing that I love that Rework has done is utilizing this 210 ripstop nylon for the interior. It's a durable material and it helps to create a highlight effect inside the bag, making it easier to find what you put where. And the little flippity flappity thing helps to provide extra protection from the rain, but it should be noted it doesn't have a magnetic closure, so it's not always gonna be the most flush. And it'll either be a look that you love or you're not quite feeling. Let me know in the comments though, like, what do you think? Do you like the flap? Could you take a pass on it? Let me know in the comments below. Now let's talk about each pocket one by one before we pack it out. Moving north, we have a quick access pocket on the top. And just like the pocket below it, the flat pocket, there's no additional organization in here. Nice and simple. Back pocket. Now, I'm a huge fan of back pockets and slings. Reason being, this is usually the spot where I'm keeping my wallet, passport, and or boarding pass, depending on what I'm doing. It's a great location because it's against your chest or your back, right? So a little extra security there, but while always being super easy to access. And finally, the main compartment. It should be noted that all the zippers on the Rework Sling are in fact YKK, and they're not PU coated, but they do have a DWR spray for extra weather resistance. And then we're in. In the main compartment, we have 2 smaller power mesh pockets, and behind them we have 2 larger power mesh pockets, a sleeve in the back, and a key leash. Let's pack the whole darn thing out. All right, I got a bunch of typical EDC and travel stuff here. We're just gonna kind of mix and match and see what works and see what doesn't. Now let's talk about some things that it can't fit. I got an iPad 12-inch right here, and you can see the corners are just not gonna make it, but any tablets smaller than that should be okay. Also, I got a big ass 1 liter Yeti water bottle, and you can see, okay, actually this will just barely make the cut. And as I'm packing this sling out, like the one thing I'm really impressed with is its really versatile capacity. As to where it can kind of go into like pancake mode and be a little bit more discreet, but it can fit a lot more if you need it to as well. Let's just test a jacket real fast. A lot of these smaller slings can't fit a big ass hoodie, but you can see my merino wool small hoodie fits in there perfectly. And one more point of reference, you got a standard size novel, and you can see fits in the main compartment with room to spare. But most of us use slings for smaller bits of gear, so let's give it a bit more of a normal pack out. I'm gonna go ahead and throw my iPhone 13 in the front pocket here. This top pocket, not too big, only runs down to about yonder for me. Good spot for sunglasses. Back pocket, wallet, obviously. And now for the big old main compartment. One interesting thing that Rework done is this pocket configuration in the main compartment, where you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4 power mesh pockets, but these top 2 are very small and suspended, which is kind of cool because the bulkier things that you carry in your sling have a tendency to fall to the bottom, right? So I'm gonna throw my North Face, what size are you? 22-ounce water bottle in here. That's at the bottom of the bag now, but it's not gonna interfere with these 2 elevated pockets where I'll put my AirPods and my little Zin tin. And you can see there's a decent amount of harmony going on there. And I quite like that. Very cool. Back pockets, I'm gonna throw an external battery and a Magic Mouse. Back sleeve, I can fit my moleskin. Throw some wires on top, attach the key to the key leash, which is kind of like, there's no designated spot for it, so it just does one of those. Not my favorite. Then we'll zip it on up. And you can see, holy frickin' moly, that is a packed out sling right there. Let's finish the job, and then I got some thoughts on this. Because now that it's fully packed out, I wanna test how these compression straps work. Still pretty easy to access, even it's a little bit tighter, obviously, given the fact that I got a 22-ounce water bottle down there. But the compression straps are easy enough to add on. And you can see, at a rainy day, I want to throw my umbrella on the bottom. Go ahead and tighten that into place. Oh yeah, oh yeah. That is an urban sling, ready for an urban day of action. Now, some closing thoughts. Because of the width of the shoulder strap as I'm wearing it, very comfortable. I kind of like it in this configuration where I've reassembled the shoulder strap to this spot to have a nice, comfortable chest wear. But just one thing to note is like, look as you're packing this thing out, like, you know, it's got a lot of bulk to it, right? So when you're in fully packed out 5 liter, I'm carrying a water bottle and a moleskin and a bunch of crap mode, it's gonna be like this big old football in your chest, which is not uncomfortable, but it's just a thing that I want you to be aware of. And last note, you can see right here that I've added a stabilizing strap, which Rework sells separately for 10 bucks. Great option for cyclists, which you can go ahead and clip on like this, which just helps to provide a little extra stability for those city bicycle commutes. How do I look, Margaret? And if you're still watching this video and you're thinking to yourself, wow, I'm nerding out on this bag right now and it's awesome and I want to nerd out on more bags, well, I got good news for you. We don't just nerd out on bags here on the Nomads Nation YouTube channel, but we also nerd out on bags on the Nomads Nation newsletter, but like even more in depth. So if you want to know what's happening in the world of bags, I'm like your reporter in the field, bringing you the breaking news, up-to-date collabs, new fabrics that are being experimented with, and everything in between. So if you want an insider look at what's happening in this amazing world of carry, in this amazing world of bags, it's so cool. Be sure to look for this globe emoji below. I hope to see you in your inbox. Let's talk about the overall pros and the cons of the Rework Toshi 5-liter sling. Pro number 1 is its impressive capacity. Pro number 2 is I think there's lots of really cool external carrying options, like here at the bottom. And pro number 3, for many of you all out there, you're gonna love the fact that the shoulder strap is detachable. But I got some cons for this sling as well. Let me tell you what they are. Con number 1 is the webbing for the shoulder strap material doesn't feel super premium for the price point. Con number 2 is the lack of a top handle, which will be a deal breaker for a lot of people. And con number 3 is while this sling is decently weather resistant, it's not extremely weather resistant. But if you're still here and you weigh all the pros and the cons, there's a good chance that you're thinking to yourself, holy moly, I don't care about any of those cons. That's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life and I'm totally getting one. Well, if that's the case, then just a reminder, the first link below is where you can find the best price and possible discount codes. But if not, let's talk about some alternatives. I got these two right here. First one's gonna be the Alpaka flight sling. This is a great option for you if you're digging the form of the Rework Toshi 5-liter sling, but you don't need all the complicated stuff. You don't need all like the lash points and the expansion, all these things that you're paying for. You just want a sling that's simple, looks good, and works. That's what the Alpaka flight sling does best. And my second alternative recommendation is going to be this guy, the Aer Day Sling 3. It's a great option for you if you're digging sort of the vibe of the Rework sling, but you want significantly more weather resistance. Because this sling comes in both X-Pack and Ultra, which handle rain very well. They're definitely two great alternative options, and to learn more about either, just watch these videos right here. If you have any questions about any bags, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Aaron, this is Nomads Nation, and we'll catch you next time.